Game 3 in the heart of New York City. The other way, Wade to LeBron. Oh, slid right by him and throws down the hammer. Wade, he's put in 2, and that's a triple. Anthony got it to go! That is it. The fuse has been lit. The Knicks gasping for air, and Miami has defeated the Knicks.
To turn back the clock and show you Monty Williams, the player with the Knicks. And what is it like to be a young fella playing in that Garden playoff atmosphere?
Well, I was more focused on making sure I executed the game plan. I had some bets on the team that made sure that if I didn't, they'd get me out of the game, which is different than today's game. Most young guys get to play through their mistakes. I didn't get that opportunity. So it's making me a better coach, I hope, not being able or having the option to play through mistakes. And that's what I try to teach our young guys.
You want to see some highlights of you?
Can you find something?
No, we don't have it. All right, Knicks fans won't be talking about this one from years to come. I'll tell you that. They're going to try to forget this, wipe it out of the memory banks. Game 3, new father Chris Bosh arriving after a long night. Amari Stoudemire out with that hand injury. Tyson Chandler receiving the Defensive Player of the Year award. Dikembe handed it to him.
Get that shot out of here.
And the only thing missing here was the finger wag.
Just missed the finger wag. But he knows how to block the shot.
Huge block. Now Mario Chalmers with a steal and up ahead to Wade. And look at this. This looks like some regular season game.
Well, we've been seeing it all season long. You turn the ball over or take a bad shot, it's a highlight reel.
Carmelo Anthony working on Battier and hits that shot. 19-16, Miami with the lead. On to the second quarter. The Knicks tie the game at the line. Landry Fields to Mike Bibby for the 3. A 14-0 Knicks run. And then Woodson has a message.
We got to get a bucket here, and then we got to get a stop, and then another stop, and we got to keep scoring and getting stops.
Scoring and getting stops. Here are the stops. Dwayne Wade throwing the ball away. Heat on the break. LeBron will give it up. 1 of 8 turnovers for him. And then J.R. Smith comes up with a steal on the break, gives up to Landry Fields, and he's going to get it back.
Well, it's unselfish basketball. Strong move to the basket. Need more of that in the second half by the New York Knicks.
Knicks are up by 6 at this point, and LeBron, pressured by Baron Davis, dribbles out of bounds. So far, so good. Meanwhile, Carmelo driving strong. 37-27, a 10-point Knicks lead.
Maybe Carmelo's easiest basket of the night.
Winding down in the second, LeBron, Wade, lay-in. Heat on a 7-0 run to head to halftime, down only 4. Wade, steal, ahead to Bosh and LeBron.
Well, that's a tough play. Instead of getting out in the fast break for the Knicks turnover, now the Miami Heat get an easy bucket.
Then about 7.5 left in the third, little under. LeBron picks up his 4th foul, and he had to sit. No LeBron, no problem. Wade goes to work.
Did you say money ball?
Big time. 51-46 Miami. Carmelo Anthony being swarmed. Somehow throws that up and in.
He makes that shot, but that's a tough shot. You get the and one, but I'll take that as a defensive coach. If he's going to take shots like that, I'll live with that shot.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Wade steals. Smith had no chance as he goes in for the lay-in. Wade had 12 in the third quarter alone. In the fourth now, LeBron rested and came back ready to roll. Look at that bounce.
Well, he kind of reminded us that late game in the season, New Jersey, when he scored 17 straight. He said, let me have a flashback. Then J.R. Smith said, wait a minute, New York, let's have some fight, let's have some power, let's believe.
Trying to give this team a spark and get the crowd into it. Miami still has the lead, but the Heat taking over. Wade, jumper, 20 in the game, 71-62 Miami. LeBron, Mario Chalmers for a 3.
Big time threes, 5 for 8 from Moneyball Town.
He was steady all night. Floaters in the beginning, threes at the end. Steady all night long.
And LeBron James, who scored the first 11 points of the fourth quarter for his team, knocking that one down in the Heat. It wasn't pretty, but that's a great win. And a 3-0 lead with a possible sweep on Sunday in the Garden. Wade keyed the third quarter, LeBron the fourth. Miami held New York to only 8 field goals in the second half, 3 in the third quarter. New York was squeezed to less than 32% shooting, and now they are on the brink. LeBron, after the game, catching up with David Aldridge.
Our first half, we didn't play Miami Heat basketball, and we was down 4. So we knew we had a chance to come out in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. And if we got to our game, didn't turn the ball over as much, including myself, I take a lot of responsibility on turning the ball over tonight, too many turnovers. But we knew we could crawl back and make it a game.
You came back in the fourth quarter after getting in foul trouble, and immediately 15 and 17 in the fourth quarter. What did you see out there that allowed you to attack?
I got a lot of rest. I'm not used to coming out that early in the third. Spo usually let me play the whole third, but I got into foul trouble, so I was able to analyze my guys. D-Wade caught fire. We made some shots in the third, and I was able to come in the fourth with a lot of energy and was able to make a couple buckets.
Obviously, you got a commanding lead in this series. Game 4 Sunday, you try to close it out and get some rest. You know they'll be desperate. How do you withstand their desperation?
We just play Miami Heat basketball. We understand we got to defend. It starts there first. We can't have turnovers on the road because it results in a lot of points for those guys, and they're not going against our half-court D. And then execute offensively, and we give ourselves a good chance to win.
LeBron James 15 through 3 quarters and then erupting for 17 in the final period. As I said, the first 11 of the fourth quarter as well to flip things in the second half. He added 8 rebounds, a team-high 5 assists. Miami moved to 6-0 versus the Knicks this season. Bomani, I want to go to a point in the fourth quarter where LeBron has been sitting in the third and Spoelstra decides to put him on the floor to start the fourth.
Yeah, I was anxious to see what he was going to do. As a coach, I'm looking at other coaches to see how they're going to rotate their players. He got that fourth foul. He had to go out, but Wade played the whole third quarter. So you're thinking, is he going to have all of the big 3 off the floor starting that fourth quarter? He brought LeBron back and he took over, and I thought it was a great coaching move. Not only that, he shrunk his lineup in the second half. He played 10 guys in the first half, Coach Spoelstra did. Second half, I think he played 8, and all of those guys had a big part of that win in the fourth quarter.
Well, it wasn't a huge night by Chris Bosh. Of course, his wife delivered a baby about 3 a.m. He had to get to New York. Miller and Battier, DZ, a combined 1 for 10 from three-point range. But Chalmers was a guy who provided that sort of that third branch, that third wheel.
Yeah, he stepped up in a big way tonight. Early in the game, knocking down those floaters in the paint, causing havoc on to the defense. But this is patience and poise. And if you're a young point guard at home and you're used to having the ball in your hand, and you happen to get blessed to play with a guy like LeBron James, where now he's the best point guard, do other things. Get some rebounds. He had 7 rebounds tonight from a point guard. He gets getting there, getting all those long rebounds because the Knicks take a lot of jump shots. And last but not least, late in the ball game, D-Wade, LeBron, they cause a lot of havoc. Be ready to shoot 5 of 8 from three-point land.
Yeah, Chalmers, great again. He's been in double-figure scoring in all 3 of these games. But as for the Knicks, they're facing a near-impossible task. Shorthanded, out of answers for the Miami Heat. Their first-half success gave way to an 0-3 hole in the series.
You know, it's an uphill battle, you know, but it's one that we have to go through. You know, obviously no one wants to be in a hole 0-3, you know, in the playoffs, especially against a tough team like this. But that's the way it is, and we got to keep fighting.
You know, I think they just try to make it hard for me, make my catches hard out there, beat me up as much as they can. I heard the bench yelling, you know, keep beating them up, keep beating them up. You know, they throw everything at you. You know, Shane Battier, LeBron. You know, when you drive, they make it hard for you. Well, you know, when you can't score the basketball, that makes the game totally, you know, extremely hard. You know, regardless of how much defense we go down there and play.
A dubious postseason record for the Knicks, a 13th consecutive playoff loss dating back to April 29, 2001. It was also a record-tying 38th straight playoff game they've scored less than 100 points, matching the Miami Heat from 97 to 04. And now Linsanity seems like forever ago. Now, perhaps Amari's going to help if he returns in Game 4, but the big question, where do the Knicks pick up the pieces at this point?
It's going to be tough, one game at a time. See if you can shake things up.
What is the game plan?
Get a good night's rest. You can't change the past. Try to have a good film session tomorrow, walk through some things, make sure you get some free throws up, take care of the things you can take care of. Try to have a good shoot around, worry about the first quarter and then the second. Don't worry about the future. You just want to extend the series. And I think if they do that, their mindset will be a bit different, probably be more at ease because you can't change the past. They're down 0-3. Right. It is what it is.
Yeah, once again, Game 4 is Sunday at Madison Square Garden.